Welcome to the second episode of this four-part series examining Adolf Hitler's life from childhood through his rise to power. In the previous episode, we examined Adolf Hitler's childhood and early struggles. In this episode, we turn to the defining rupture of his generation, World War I and its aftermath. We explore how military service, national defeat, and post-war chaos reshaped Hitler's identity and pushed him toward political extremism. When World War I broke out in August 1914, Adolf Hitler was living in Munich. Though still technically an Austrian citizen, he volunteered immediately for the German army. He viewed the war not as a tragedy, but as a calling. For the first time in his life, he felt part of something larger than himself. Hitler was assigned to the Bavarian army as a dispatch runner. His role required carrying messages between units, often under enemy fire. While not a frontline assault soldier, the position was dangerous. He witnessed death, artillery bombardment, and the relentless strain of trench warfare. Unlike many soldiers who became disillusioned, Hitler embraced military discipline. He followed orders, avoided alcohol, and kept largely to himself. Fellow soldiers later described him as reserved, ideological, and intensely serious. The army provided structure, identity, and purpose, elements missing from his earlier life. Hitler was wounded twice during the war. In 1916, he was injured by shrapnel. In 1918, he was temporarily blinded by a gas attack. He received the Iron Cross Second Class and later the Iron Cross First Class, an uncommon honor for a corporal. These awards reinforced his belief that he had proven himself through service. Germany's defeat in November 1918 was a profound psychological shock. Hitler was hospitalized when he learned of the armistice. Rather than viewing defeat as a military failure, he adopted the stab in the back narrative, the belief that Germany had been betrayed from within by politicians, socialists, and Jews. After the war, Germany descended into political and economic chaos. The monarchy collapsed. Inflation surged. Armed political groups clashed in the streets. Hitler remained in the army, which assigned him to intelligence and political education roles. These duties exposed him to nationalist ideology and gave him early experience speaking to groups. In 1919, Hitler attended a meeting of the German Workers' Party. During a debate, he spoke forcefully and emotionally. Party leaders recognized his ability to influence an audience and invited him to join. Hitler quickly became the party's most effective speaker. He transformed economic hardship and national humiliation into simple emotional narratives. He blamed Germany's suffering on the Treaty of Versailles, Marxism, and Jews. His speeches emphasized unity, betrayal, and rebirth. The party was renamed the National Socialist German Workers' Party, the Nazi Party. Hitler reshaped it around a central principle: leadership. Loyalty to him became inseparable from loyalty to the movement. In 1923, Hitler attempted to seize power in Munich during the beer hall putsch. The coup failed. 16 Nazis were killed and Hitler was arrested. Although the putsch was a tactical failure, it proved significant. During his trial, Hitler used the courtroom as a national stage. His speeches were widely reported, transforming him from a regional agitator into a recognized political figure. Around this same period, a little-known biographical book titled Adolf Hitler, His Life and His Speeches appeared. Officially credited to journalist Victor von Kerber, the book portrayed Hitler as a destined national leader. For decades, it attracted little attention. More recently, historians and researchers have debated Hitler's role in the book's creation. Linguistic and contextual analysis suggests the text closely mirrors Hitler's own rhetoric and self-mythologizing style. While there is no definitive proof that Hitler authored the book himself, most scholars agree it was produced with his cooperation and approval. What matters is not authorship alone, but intent. The The book represents an early effort to shape Hitler's public image, casting him as a figure of destiny before he held national power. This impulse towards self-myth-making would later become central to Nazi propaganda. Hitler was sentenced to prison, but served less than a year. During his incarceration, he dictated Mein Kampf. The book expanded on themes already present in his speeches: racial hierarchy, anti-Semitism, extreme nationalism, and the belief that Germany required territorial expansion. After his release, Hitler changed strategy. He concluded that power must be gained legally rather than through open rebellion. The Nazi Party reorganized itself as a disciplined electoral movement. The Great Depression provided the turning point. Economic collapse left millions unemployed and disillusioned. The Nazis promised order, revival, and national pride. Their support surged. By 1932, the Nazi Party was the largest in the German parliament. Conservative elites believed they could control Hitler and use his popularity for their own ends. In January 1933, President Hindenburg appointed Adolf Hitler Chancellor of Germany. They were wrong. By the early 1930s, Adolf Hitler had moved from obscurity to the center of German politics. Economic collapse, social unrest, and his ability to mobilize resentment turned a fringe movement into a mass party. What began as ideology and grievance was now approaching real power. In the next episode, we examine Hitler in government, how he dismantled democracy, consolidated control, and led Germany toward war and catastrophe.